Hello, and welcome to the Lazy Days podcast. I'm back here with Matt and George. How we doing, boys?
Good, mate. Hungry,
mate.
All good. Hungry, yeah. So am I. We've got a very exciting episode today. Something a bit different, but I'm very excited. We've got the takeaway man, Kevin. How you doing?
Right, good, man. Good. Thank you so much for having me on the podcast. It's absolutely amazing.
No, thanks for coming on, mate. We appreciate it. So, this episode's a little bit different, and I think we're all quite excited. We're doing a bit of a foodie podcast. We've all ordered a takeaway. We've kind of basically stole your show,
basically,
but we'll give you credit.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, we've all ordered a different takeaway. We're just going to eat it, chat food. We're going to get you to rate our takeaway.
Yeah, good.
And then we'll just see how it goes, mate. We'll go from there.
Yeah.
So, what have you ordered then, mate?
Well, yeah, so for me, I'm from Dublin in Ireland, so that's where I'm born and bred. But I'm actually living down in my dad's house now, down in Wicklow, so it's probably about an hour's drive away from Dublin. Right. And it's literally it's like going from night and day. You know, like there's in Dublin there's Deliveroo, Uber Eats, Just Eat, you name it,
everything.
Happy Days.
Yeah.
This place, we have a chipper and a Chinese. That's it. Nothing else. So when you guys are like, you messaged me and stuff, I actually waited. There was a brand new kebab shop opened up. So wait until you see this, right? So this is so funny. So in rural Ireland, you'd order like a bag of chips. Say like you're out like in the beachfront or whatever, you order a bag of chips, you and your missus, and you can share them. Look how much chips, right? This is how many chips you get in one bag, right? This is just one meal, one kebab meal, and this is how many chips you get.
I'm intrigued.
So,
is that full? Jesus.
The whole like
That's like
still,
Five Guys gone mad.
There's still like half a bag in there, like.
That's mental.
So like it's like a full
I only
bag
got a
of
little.
chips.
That's my chips.
Yeah, it's crazy.
What have I got. I've got quite
That's
a few.
looking better than mine.
I don't know how well you can see it. It's like a bag. Ooh. You know, that's not bad.
They're like
That's a
skinny
good
chips.
shout.
It's a good portion.
I thought you got an Indian, George.
I did. I'm gonna get knocked
Chips with
down.
Indian?
Yeah, I'm gonna get knocked down in points. Don't expose my takeaway
Right,
yet.
that's controversial.
I know. It's not.
So have you gone for a kebab then, Kevin?
Yeah. So I literally just went for your standard, just mixed kebab. Now the only thing is 9 times out of 10 when I would generally have a kebab, I'd also be like lying on the floor and locked absolutely off my tits. So having being Irish for one, and then having a sober kebab, which is mental. So a sober kebab.
Yeah, that's unheard of.
It's not fun. But so what did you guys get then? So what's your buzz?
So I'm quite lucky because I live in quite a built-up city area. I have the choice of Deliveroo, Uber Eats, all that fun. So I had a lot of choice, but there was something that I hadn't seen on there before, called a company called Flip the Bird. So I've gone for these Hong Kong style wings.
Oh wow!
They do look banging.
Hong Kong barbecue style wings.
They look really good.
And I've also got a burger, which I haven't opened yet, but it's in a massive, vast box.
Nice.
You kind of see the box. And that's also a barbecue Hong Kong chicken burger, and then fries, and I've gone for a beer as well. So I think that's a pretty solid meal, if you ask me.
Can't go wrong with that.
What about you, Matt? What you got then?
Christ.
Got the
I'm
works.
gonna ignore the fact that it's fucking cold, but so I'll start off with basically what I have here is it's a bin Big Mac. Basically, where we live,
Nice.
we've got a smokehouse and it does do very good food. So you have, it's basically a Big Mac, but yeah, I haven't really done it too much justice. I'm just so hungry. I'm sorry. I've been put on the spot. And then
that's the thing.
And then I've got these
Are
pork.
they burnt bits?
Yeah, they're basic. It's
Nice.
pork belly. And then I've got some skin-on potato fries. Christ. And then I had to get the bin mayo, which is, I think, just glorified.
must.
It's glorified tomato and ketchup together. And I've gone with Coke.
Decent.
Normal Coke,
Solid
real Coke,
that.
as they do say.
Yeah,
It's so funny.
yeah, proper Coke.
you know, like there's a thing that I started off when I first started like doing blogs and stuff like that, was I wanted to use the term shit, and one be like, that food is shit, and then the other one be like, that food is their shit, because their shit makes it sound really good, where when it's just shit it sounds really bad. And I had kind of like a poo rating system of how good to how shit it was going to be. And then like straight away I got like all these messages, all these emails from people going, you can't compare food to eating poo, like you can't do that, like this is the worst thing you do. And I had like this full graph, I had like little emojis and
you'd worked on it.
What was top then?
Top was just the shit. Yeah, that's the shit. I recommend it.
That is
like,
the shit.
Yeah, yeah.
Sure.
Just go to it. Yeah.
I think
Look
that
at
works.
that burger.
The chicken burger. Nice.
That was pretty naughty.
Decent.
Go
mate.
Go on
on.
then, George. What you got then?
I've got a chicken tikka masala, which I think is English, isn't it? Or is that korma?
Yeah.
No, tikka
No, it's
masala is English.
it's actually the most ordered takeaway in all of England.
There you go. I'm a basic bitch. I've got myself a tikka masala with like a small rice, so I can have some chips with 2 poppadoms and a garlic and chili naan. So I've gone like as basic as like pretty basic, but
Nah,
it
that
looks
naan, mate.
banging.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I
It
only
looks
only
banging.
recently discovered cheesy naans.
Oh yeah, I
Cheese
saw a
and
cheese and
naan.
onion one on the menu, and I was like, maybe.
Mate, they bang.
Do they?
Cheese naans are very good.
Okay.
You can get a garlic cheese naan. That's even better.
That sounds pretty good.
How are you doing your plating though? Because I have a very particular way of how I plate my Indian food.
So I think
I've
my
had a couple of people go mad
yeah,
about it. So.
my plating might disrespect India. I've got I've got the tikka masala kind of slumped on, but then I've kept the pot like of the sauce that I haven't used because it's amazing and it's like good for dipping. And then I've got like my rice kind of piled on. My chips don't actually fit on the plate, so I've got them just sat next to the tray. And then me naan and me poppadoms are to the right, either in shot or out of shot. I don't know how this will look, but it's all over the place. To be honest, I think if I was in a restaurant, I'd get removed for quite frankly disrespecting the establishment.
No, that's so funny.
What's your plate in then?
Well, the way I usually do it is I actually get the naan bread and I put the naan bread on first, the whole plate,
Okay.
and then I get chips or rice, and then I put that on top of the naan bread.
Right.
And then when I do that, and then I get all of the sauce, and then I put all of the sauce and all the stuff on top of all the rice and the naan bread. So by the time you're tucking in, that means all of the sauce is already soaked up into the bread.
Oh,
That's
Oh.
you're an innovator, mate. That is like.
missed the trick.
How have I not thought of that?
Yeah, and then do that, and then at the end, so then you have your poppadoms, and you can go in, but everything is all done and dusted. So look at that burger, man, unreal.
Oh, wow.
That is a Big Mac.
I've realised how crunchy poppadoms are. So taking
Yeah.
a bite of a poppadom on a podcast.
I've ordered really badly, like, kind of practical wise, because this burger's just like coming, all the sauce is like just dripping out.
Oh,
So I'm
really?
having to like move over, like, on, kind of out of shot to not get any of this.
Oh,
I've
amazing.
gone for wings as well, barbecue wings, which aren't the most appetizing to look at while I eat.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
I was on. Did you ever see? You guys started it off over in the UK, but it was called First Dates. Did you ever hear?
Yeah,
First
yeah.
Dates, the TV show?
Yeah, yeah.
In First Dates, right? So the way they do it is that you're in a hotel, you're starting off, and they separate like all the guys in one, all the girls in the other, and then they just call you and they call your name and you go down and you go do whatever you need to do. Like, and that's grand, but they basically get you absolutely annihilated drunk beforehand, but they give you money. So they go, okay, you get £20, and the person you're going to be bringing on the date gets £20. So you're like, grand.
Yeah.
But when you get down and you look at the menu is like ribs, like chicken wings, spaghetti, and you're there like wearing a white shirt, and you're just looking at like this, just the world's sloppiest, most disgusting menu. You're just like, I'd never on a first date order like a rack of ribs with someone, just be sitting there on the telly eating like all this stuff, sauce running down your face. But they literally do it on purpose, and there's like a part at the end where they kind of go like, oh, so are you going to split the bill and all? So you're sitting there as the lad going, I know she's gotten paid to do this, and I have to now pay for the whole thing. And that's what makes it so confrontational. So the whole thing is all completely pre-planned. So you're sitting there, and to be honest, when you're up in this like little VIP, little guest thing, they're just like glass of wine, and you're like, oh, thank you so much.
Have you been on it then?
Do you know what happened? Right, get ready for this. This is hilarious. So my mate got picked to be a main dater and do all that stuff. So that's cool. I say, all right, yeah, fair enough. And then he goes, I'm not going on it unless my mate Kev comes with me. And the producer was just like, who's your mate Kev? And he sends a picture of me and all, hell yeah, big beard and all, hell yeah, covered in tattoos. And they're like, oh yeah, we'll get someone for your mate. They're like, this chap's absolute Sasquatch. So come down, and so I turn up on the day, right? So he gets called, goes for his date, that's great, and I'm sitting there, wine, lads on tour kind of thing, and I'm like, this is grand. And they pull me aside and they're like, oh, Kevin, can you come here? And I was like, hey, what's up? And they're like, unfortunately your date didn't turn up.
No.
And I'm like, oh shit. And they're like, but on the good note is you get her money as well. And I was like,
oh, you know what, take that.
Days. It's like, there's 40 quid. Nice. 40 quid, right? So I was like,
oh yeah,
happy days. And they go, oh yeah, and just to let you know, we provide you a taxi so you can go to anywhere in Dublin for free, like in this taxi. Mate. So we'll drop you anywhere you want to go to, and meet and your friends, go home, whatever. It's all completely paid for. So I was like, all right, happy days. So now I'm up 40 quid. I'm half cut on wine anyway. So I just go down to the bar. I was like, grand, pints, waiting for my mate. But what happened was my friend, he was waiting on me to come down, so he'd be like, oh, we're on the telly together, and like wave at each other and stuff. But that never happened. So the two of us thought we were doing the same thing. Basically got absolutely annihilated drunk. And he comes over to me and he's like, Kev, what happened, man? And I'm just like gone. Irish hammered, just gonzo.
Yeah.
And I haven't eaten nothing because you were going to go and like have food and do all this stuff. So they're like, all right. And they have to go on a second date with me, like annihilated drunk. So they're there like getting a slice of pizza and I'm like swaying. Just kind of, I hope you guys had a good time and all, this is great. And yeah, it was just, crazy shit.
It sounds like you kind of won in a way.
Like it was unreal.
Sound like a cracking night.
I've got a good story about first dates.
My go-to drink was a pint of Heineken. That's my...
Fair enough.
Solid.
It's just, you know what, like you can go to pretty much anywhere in the world. Do you have a pint of Heineken? Yeah, cool, grand. It's just cheap and cheerful. What about you guys? What's your beers of choice?
I have so many beers.
I have
Mine's bottle of Corona, mate. I just can't. You can't beat it.
Corona's solid. Corona is a solid choice.
But around with the lime in it, I like putting the lime in a bit of sugar and putting it around.
Okay.
It's
Bring
weird.
Tequila vibes there.
Okay.
It's weird, but it's good.
To be fair, you did have about 5 last night at the pub. How many it was?
Look at me now.
I like a Singer. A Singer is one of my favourite beers.
Oh yeah.
I'm currently on Warsteiner. I don't really know how you say it. But it's a German beer. Nice. That's pretty nice. And George just doesn't drink.
Not a drinker.
Ah.
Yeah. He wouldn't last 5 minutes in Ireland.
No way.
And that's the thing. Like that is like, it's one thing that I definitely notice when you're kind of going and you're traveling around the world and you're doing all that stuff. But when you get to like Ireland and England and Scotland and Wales and wherever, you kind of sit down and you're like, oh, what's there to do? And they're like, well, there's this pub, and you're like, okay. And after that, and he's like, have you ever been to a Witherspoons before? And you're like, yeah, not really. And they're like, well, you have to go there because the pints there are so cheap. And you're just like, okay, anything else other than pints, or it could be like, do you want? And they're like, I don't know, there's a couple of bridges you can take pictures of if you want, like, and that's literally it. Or like really tall buildings or something silly. Like, but other than that, it's pretty much the whole tourist industry is just like one big pub crawl. So.
Pretty much.
To be fair, when I've wanted to go to like Dublin, because I've never been there. The main reason is because like isn't there a famous street which is just like basically pubs all along the street?
It's just Dublin, really. It's like people literally, like, no joke, in Ireland, if you pull up to someone in the country or whatever, they will give you directions by pubs. They'll be like, oh, you pull up to Kavanagh's there, and then you'll come up, and then there's Sally Long's there on the left, and then you just keep on going dead straight after that then, and there's the Halfpenny Inn, and then you're just kind of like, all right. And 4 pubs later, you're in your destination. It's mad.
My dad's told me a story once when him and my granddad went to I don't know where it was in Ireland, but they were drinking Guinness, and as they were not even halfway done on their actual Guinness, they was already pouring the other Guinness ready for them. they was meant to be driving and going back home. They just got caught in a loop of just Guinness after Guinness after Guinness after Guinness and just couldn't drive.
That sounds amazing. It's so true though. Like in Ireland, there used to be these big posters, and on the posters it would say anything more than 5 pints means you're not driving home. So they'd have like
drive.
yeah, like, and they'd have like a gear stick, and it'd have like little pint glasses on it, and then when it gets to reverse, it's like time to go home now, or you're leaving your car here, and you're like 5 pints in. Like you're not even allowed to have a whiff of a beer now, or you get arrested. Like.
Yeah.
Yeah, nah. I feel bad if I have a shandy and I'm driving back home. Like,
It's been an hour, and you're like,
Yeah.
yeah, no,
So
it's ridiculous.
it might be very obvious, but is Guinness the go-to drink over where you are?
No, not necessarily. Like, it's. I think
Is it
it's
more of a
kind of.
touristy thing?
It is and it isn't. Like Guinness is great and all, yeah, cool. But it's a very acquired taste, and if you get a bad one, you're in a bad way. Like it's just there's like I've brought over I don't know how many bands and stuff like that. It's a thing definitely with American people that they have this fixation on drinking a pint of Guinness and then have a shot of Jameson, and they're like pint shot, and they're like nobody in Ireland does that. Like no one in Ireland does that, and they're just like pints.
Americans are just dickheads.
Right.
It's
We'll get any
crazy.
American guests on then.
Or die by living.
But that is a thing. Like, what happens is like, it's always good. I love talking about this kind of stuff. What happens is the first time I ever had my first pint of Guinness, my mate pulled me aside and he was like, "Right now, Kev, right, this is the crack. Tomorrow, you're gonna have a black poo." And I'm like, "Sorry?" Like, "You're gonna have a black poo, but you don't have cancer. It's just the magic of Guinness." And I'm just like, "Okay." And then like the following morning, had a poo, and I was like, "Oh, look at that! That's unreal!" Like, I honestly think that should be like one of the marketing campaigns going. It's like, because it had kind of like a purple tinge to it. It was kind of mad because they did that with Burger King. Burger King had like a burger that when you ate it, you had a purple poo, and I was just like, yeah, like, and that's like it was a full thing. Like,
Not here.
What's that?
yeah, like eat this burger and you'll have a purple poo, and people were like, "No way!" They're eating like,
I've never heard of that.
yeah, big time.
How
Yeah,
many
yeah.
how many Guinnesses did you need to actually?
You only need one. That's the thing. It's
One
amazing.
Guinness?
Yeah, you only need one.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's where I've eaten. I've drunk a Guinness before and I've never had a purple poo.
Oh, well, I don't know about
missed
I
out.
think about 12 Guinness in. I think that's when it gets like proper, like Super Saiyan kind of glow to it and stuff. It's like, but yeah.
I think the funny thing
Is
about
Guinness
Guinness,
like
right?
syrup? Oh, go on, Matt.
I think from here, everyone, if you drink Guinness, you're known as a sophisticated chap. You know what I mean?
What, over here?
'Cause, yeah, but I'll
yeah.
give you a story. One of our mates, shout to Fuzz. I remember he had this fixation about going down the pub like every single day. Thought he was a proper like boozer lad and stuff, and he'd walk in and go like, "All right, Sharon, you all right? Yeah, not bad. Same again." And he'd like he'd just started drinking Guinness, and you could tell he hated it because yeah, it's lovely. And he'd be like, "Yeah, it's a Guinness, mate. It's changed my like. I just don't like drinking beer anymore. It's Guinness." You know what I mean? It's. I mean, I'm gonna say it. It's known as an old man drink here in England.
Yeah. Oh no,
And
100%. In England as well, the one thing that Irish people do love about like going over to England and stuff like that is that you have an extra cold tap. So Ireland don't have extra cold taps. So you can get like a really extra cold Guinness, which is amazing.
But
like
I thought Guinness was like 10 times better in Ireland than it is.
Oh yeah, no, it is in Ireland. Like it is like
It's like syrup in it.
It's not. It's
That's
it's a
how
very
I
kind of
described it.
like golden nectar, more like. No, I think it's because like there's all these kind of fairy tale stories where you hear about like there's where the Guinness storehouse is, where they make it. They're saying there's like pubs that are in Dublin that have just like a direct line straight from the storehouse, so it's just like boop, and then you'll have like the world's best Guinness. But it was actually Anthony Bourdain. He said and stated that the best Guinness that he ever had was in a place called the Gravediggers in Dublin, And yeah, it's just in a place in Drumcondra there. And the reason why it's called Gravediggers is because that's where the gravediggers had their pints. And but if you go into it, they haven't changed a thing since, like, I don't know, the 1900s or whatever. So it's the same chairs, same stuff. But I think the big thing is that it's the same taps. Like, the taps haven't been changed and stuff.
Cool.
Right.
So when you go in and you have a pint of Guinness out of this place, you're like, well, that's nice. Like, but I think the main reason why so many Irish people kind of like drinking Guinness and stuff like that is that it's say like it's a lovely hot summer's day. If you're out and you're drinking the likes of a Corona or whatever, you're just gonna sink them. You're just like, boop, boop. You're not sinking Guinness. You can't. Like, you're it's a pacer pint. Like, you're just like, cool, and it kind of gets you like through the day. And it's
dinner
not
as well,
too bad.
innit?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like like it's filling you up in more ways than one. Like, but, yeah, big time.
So I've been seeing on your stories, you've been posting a lot about kind of street food over where you are. Is that a big thing over in Ireland at the moment, or
what? Yeah,
or is
so
it
what's
just Dublin, or
yeah, what's after happening is all of the restaurants close. All the pubs, restaurants, they all closed.
Right.
And in Ireland, there was no mandatory legislation for them to legally open up again. So what they did is that street food in Ireland, it's very kind of black and white. So all your food has to be pre-cooked in a premises. So you basically have to have like a test kitchen to cook all your food. You take all of your pre-cooked food, bring it to the likes of a food truck or whatever, and heat it up, and then go from there. And that's safe, legit. That's the way they do it. So they had all of these restaurants, empty kitchens, and they're just kind of going, well, it makes the most sense for us to just use our kitchens and then sell the food like in food trucks or whatever. Horse boxes seems to be the thing. I don't know if it's the same over in England. It's like every coffee shop under the sun now is coming out of a fucking horse box.
It's like rustic. It's rustic, isn't it? That's like the vibe.
Yeah. So
like old vans as well. Usually are the or the coffee shop sort of thing.
Yeah. There's actually a really funny movie if you're ever into looking for like die-hard Irish kind of like a movie that will kind of stereotype Ireland in a nutshell. It's called The Snapper, and then there's the Snapper, and then there's the van, and it's literally exactly what you said. It's just this Irish family. They're on the dole. There's like 16 kids living in one house, and the dad gets this great idea that he's going to turn a transit. I think it was an old ice cream van into a fish and chip shop.
Right.
Brilliant.
So like, yeah, so they do that, but they've made 2 movies out of it, and it's like one of the most iconic Irish movies that have ever been made. You know,
that sounds quite close to home because we have a fish and chip van come round.
Oh yeah.
Around here, there's like a few of them, and they look like old ambulances, kind of ice cream vans, don't they?
Yeah.
And they usually rock up outside the pubs, and you just be there ordering like your fish or chips. Outside this like little van. And to be fair, it is very good fish and chips.
Ah, happy days. That's what you want. We actually have in Ireland. They've launched this thing called the Sambo Ambo. So it's basically like these super high-end sandwiches that are being served out of an ambulance that's bright orange.
That's
cool. Yeah, the Sambo Ambo, and it's just like they started off basically doing Sambos and stuff, but now they do burgers and all these other kind of fun things.
Have you had one?
Yeah. No, it is. It's class. Like they do.
What did you go for?
It was the slow roast brisket thing. It was a brisket Sambo, melted cheese, all the fun kind of stuff on it, you know.
How are you making me hungry while I'm eating? How's that possible?
Yeah, that's my job, and like one of the things that I've noticed, like from doing the whole like podcast stuff and doing that, like people have been sending me like reviews, which is amazing. Like, and that's always what I ask for. Like, definitely send me where you want me to go and all this kind of stuff. But what's after happening now is people are sending me complaints.
Oh,
so
really?
it's like, yeah. So like some guy bit into a burger and it like wasn't cooked properly, and he was just like, "Oh, look at this! It's not cooked properly." And I was just like, "Jesus, man, sorry to hear about that," you know. And he's just like, "Well, what are you gonna do about it?" And I'm like,
Nothing.
"The fuck am I gonna do?
What do you want me to do?
It's not got to do with me. It's your burger." Like, I was like, "Well, let me know. Like, if they don't give you a refund or if they treat you real bad, then yeah, possibly like we could just like not like do a whole name and shame thing, but just be like, here." kind of cop on, guys. You're after selling someone an uncooked burger. It's pretty
Yeah.
dangerous,
Mhm.
you know. But your man wanted me to like do a public outcry and like create a graphic of him being upset that his burger wasn't cooked properly, and I was just like, this is a bit mad.
That is
and
strange.
that seems to be a thing, like, but it's only because like there's such a high demand for all of this street food and stuff, is that people are standing outside waiting in queues for an hour and they're getting handed a half cooked burger for €15.
Sure.
And they're kind of going, well, this is bullshit, you know? Like,
Yeah.
I can just go to I could have always gone to McDonald's and just got a burger for like €2 or €1,
Yeah.
like in the
Yeah.
pound saver, euro saver menu going. I could have got that and I would have just been as happy, like.
Yeah.
It is. It's a bit of a nightmare, like, with all that kind of stuff. But you
Have you
guys
ever
are
had-
all. Sorry.
Go on.
No, I was going to say you guys are all open now. You guys are having
Oh, yeah,
pints, getting
pretty
vaccinated.
much.
Pretty sure there's syringes in your drinks at this stage. Like, it's just kind
Absolutely.
of like.
I actually had my first vaccine today.
I'm getting
Oh,
mine
no,
Saturday.
happy days.
Yeah, get mine
Yeah,
Saturday.
got
Good
it
stuff,
early
yeah.
today,
Round
and
of
it was so quick and easy. Like I was
It is,
actually-
isn't it?
Yeah.
Did they tell you
So
to
you
look
just
the other
walked in.
way and they're literally like this? Jab.
They were just chatting to me, and to be fair, I didn't even realise it go in my arm. Like I did not feel it. Didn't even notice
You
it.
see, I'm
was so quick.
I'm terrified of needles, so I'm really
Nah,
not.
honestly,
looking
me
forward to having
too.
it,
George,
but
mate, you
apparently
won't
it's
even
fine.
notice.
Yeah, people.
It
keep
doesn't
saying
even
it,
go
but it's
in. They
fine.
literally just prick you.
And then that's that.
Honestly, you
As
couldn't
much
even
as a
feel
cocktail stick, literally just been.
I can deal with a
into
cocktail stick.
it. There was like two people there, and one guy was like chatting to me, so he was basically distracting me anyway.
Right.
And then the nurse kind of came round and just put it in my arm, and I honestly didn't even notice. So
Yeah.
That's
it
how
was-
that's how they get the tracker inside you, mate. Distract you.
Yeah, well, for some
5G.
reason my phone signal's got a lot better all of a sudden. But
Fuck it, I'll take a vaccine for better phone signal. Jesus Christ. Yeah, go on. No bother, lads. Cool. Do you want me to do a line of it? Yeah, grand. Well, hey. Like,
it
crazy
gives you
shit.
free Wi-Fi. Yeah, I'll
Yeah,
fucking take
well,
that.
free Wi-Fi. You walk into a
Matt needs
Witherspoons and your phone just automatically connects, and you're like, I've never been here before.
Buzzing.
Oh, happy days. Oh, no, AstraZeneca, you only have 2 bars. Ah, bastards.
Yeah, AstraZeneca wants a bad
I've got
signal.
Yeah, you don't want that
AstraZeneca.
one.
I've got it. What there?
Look at that. Oh, yeah. You see all them
What?
videos now, people sticking like magnets to their arms and all. It's like, no, you're just a
Yeah,
sweaty
yeah,
mess.
yeah,
Like,
you're
just
sweaty.
a sweaty
It's
fucker.
summer.
Like,
Yeah.
have a shower, you little weirdo. That's ridiculous.
Does it feel any
Please,
different, Matt?
No. No
Maybe
magnet
like-
in there. It's bullshit.
Well,
Yeah, no, it's nice everything being open now. Like we can,
That's lovely.
I was saying earlier, we was at the pub last night watching the football,
Happy
and
days,
it's
yeah.
like it's good. Do you know,
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like it's just good to be out
Mhm.
with your mates and drinking, eating,
Yeah. Yeah.
watching the football.
This is
Normal
you see,
shit.
this is the thing. Like, I'm not really like a big into football, all that kind of stuff. But the lads are like, "Oh, do you want to come watch the match?" I'm like, "Yeah, no problem, no problem."
Definitely.
Could be anybody. It could be like the women's fucking over 21s, like middle aged. Like, I don't care what it is. It could be like the administration team from wherever. I'm like, yeah, cool. If there's a couple of pints going and we can just sit there and watch the telly. Happy days, guys. I'll literally go to the opening up an envelope.
Do you have kind of a local team that you support? All?
No, you see, this is the thing. You kind of get into the issue. Like my team was for years was always Villa. It was Aston Villa, but the reason behind that was because it was literally the first ever team that I've ever seen. And I use terms like ever seen live, and the lads are like, they're not a fucking band. You
Yeah.
can't, like see it. You can't see a fucking game live. And so I was there, and I had my what you call it, the puka pies. You know, the puka pies.
The pucker pies.
Pucker pies,
Oh,
yeah.
That-
yeah.
Had a pint of carling in one hand. I had the pie in the other, just shoveling it into my face, just hurling abuse at someone. Hadn't a clue. I was like,
Proper
yeah, fucking bastard. I was like,
Using
lads,
green
this is
screen.
just oh, 100%. Like, I was like, this is just like FIFA, isn't it? And they're just like, what? But the only reason why I said that is because we were in pure nosebleed sections, and they all just look like little dots anyway,
Right.
running around Villa Park. But yeah, and then I was just like, well, that's the first thing that I've ever seen, so I'll go with them. But I think I might change it now to Wrexham.
Okay.
Wrexham.
Oh, Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah.
Is that the one that Ryan Reynolds and his I forget his mate's name, but haven't they like invested or they've become like owners?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think the lads from Faulty Towers and stuff like that. Like I don't know if they were a legitimate team at the start, and then just the lads were like, "Here, if we just throw a couple of million into this, we can take the piss out of it." But like their jerseys and everything, like real slick jerseys now. I don't think they've won any matches since they've been taken over. But like, yeah, I was like, come on, Ryan Reynolds is doing it. Must be decent, you know.
Deadpool owns it. Why not?
Yeah, well, this is it. Like,
They should have that as a sponsor or like a Deadpool shirt.
Deadpool.
That'd be pretty cool.
oh,
That'd
big
be
time.
cool.
yeah. I think that's their spin on it. Like they'll definitely do that. But what
Yeah,
about
they'll milk
yourselves?
something. I'm a Chelsea fan.
Cool.
Matt's a
Tottenham.
Chelsea fan.
Yeah.
Tottenham.
Happy days.
And then yeah, George is bloody Tottenham.
Yeah.
Don't like that one.
We win loads, mate. We win everything. Don't worry about us. Don't get
There
jealous.
was a lad I used to work with, and like I'm covered in tattoos, like head to toe in tattoos or whatever. And he came in and he was like, "Oh, Kev, man, after getting my first tattoo," and I was just like, "Oh yeah, what did you get?" And he's like, "Got my favorite fucking football team, man, tattooed on my back." And I'm like,
Right.
"Oh no, what did you do?" I was like, "Well, go on then, gives a look." And he lifts up his shirt, and in gigantic Times New Roman, like the Times New Roman thing,
Yeah.
just says Leeds.
Oh no!
From shoulder to shoulder. I was just like, like
I feel like that sums up Leeds fans.
Yeah.
That feels like such a stereotypical Leeds thing.
it wasn't even like it was just like standard font. Just who do you support?
Leeds.
Fucking support Leeds, mate. Yeah,
Yeah.
It's like-
read it. Yeah.
yeah.
I reminds me of that lad we saw on TV last night, Matt, when we was watching the England game. It was that bold, like kind of big, bold dude with no top on, with just an England tattoo like,
Oh,
on his
mate.
bare chest.
Why?
Like stereotypical England fan.
What's the correlation between going to the football and taking your shirt off? I
I
think you're
don't
good,
know,
mate.
mate.
It's so
I
like,
don't know.
I'm in the stadium now. Off comes the shirt, and it's just like, why? No, let them do that if they score like a winner. Like, you're fine. No one wants to see that. You just keep yourself tucked away, mate. I don't understand it. I
I
never
love
will.
the way you have to say tucked away, because it's never, well, there's always two extremes. There's always the really, really, really skinny guy.
Yeah.
Then there's the ripped guy, and you kind of go, all right, fair enough. And then
Yeah.
there's like me at the back. All right, lads, after drinking like 10 pints of Guinness, it's all still me beard now. And like, all right, lads, how you doing?
Up the Villa.
It's like, yeah. It's like, mate, please put your clothes back on. Like this is no time or place for it. Like, and it's the same in Ireland. Like as soon as the sun comes out in Ireland, all the lads are just like, whoop.
Yeah.
How you know? That's the crack.
Sun's out, guns out, eh?
Oh yeah.
That's what they all say.
No carbs before marbs. But do you know, actually, funny about that, like you guys, how I kind of came about your podcast and all that stuff is Carl Watson. So so I saw kind of like the Carl Watson thing, and he was on my podcast as well. So
Yeah, I saw that.
yeah. So how, like, what was the correlation between getting Carl on? Like, are you into traveling or?
So-
That's Has all over.
Yeah, it's kind of me. I mean, I'd followed Carl for a while,
yeah.
and we'd literally started this podcast at kind of the beginning of the year, and kind of the first thing that I would like we wanted to do was get guests on. So, I mean, we were shooting our shots with some people. We still are shooting our shots. I mean, if you don't ask, you don't get. Do you know what I mean?
That's 100%.
So-
Yeah, big time. I got
So,
George Motes. I got George Motes. Is like he's the Burger Scholar sessions, all of him, and he literally was just like, all right, yeah, cool, happy days.
Yeah, that's
and
it.
Yeah.
what happened to me was like, have you guys dealt with the time differences yet? Like the time?
Yeah, we
it's
did
our
a
first
American one.
guest.
Oh, your first
Yeah.
guest. Yeah.
Yeah, it was
It's
a guy
tough,
called
isn't it?
Divert Living. Yeah,
Hmm.
but we managed to do it. We had to do it early, didn't we? Did we do it early, or was it the other way around? I can't remember.
It was 12 o'clock, and he did it late. He did it late, to be fair.
That was it. Yeah, it was like the only way it would work if he done it late and we did it like kind of like at lunchtime. Otherwise, it would be really early or midnight for him. So it was kind of a. But it worked all out fine. But yeah,
No, happy days.
it was pretty good.
And
Great guest as
would
well,
you guys have done? Would you guys have done much traveling then? Like, what way is it working out for you guys now? Because, like England, everyone's vaccinated. Yeah, it's kind of like we're at the stage now where it's like you're looking at all of these. I don't know if you guys are looking at like travel agents and stuff, but like I saw it was like a 5-star hotel in Portugal for 2 weeks for €400 all in, flights, hotel, accommodation, like. It's tempting stuff.
Yeah, it's very tempting, but it's still very iffy at the moment. It's very like I keep getting like news flashes, and it's like more cases keep going up.
Yeah.
And the travel thing is a big topic and issue at the moment.
Yeah, is it? Yeah.
There's just not much clarity in it whether we can go away in certain areas, and the places that are on the green list or the good list, they're not very touristy, and they're not places that many people travel to.
Yeah. Azerbaijan or something. You're just kind of like,
it's all very odd places. So I think most people are still just travelling in England at the moment. Like I've got a 2-week holiday planned in Cornwall and Devon.
happy days.
I'm just going to go around a little road trip down there for 2 weeks. So
That'd be nice.
but I'd love to go away soon. I mean, I'm going back to Thailand next year, which has been cut short for the last 3 years now, which has been a pain in the ass. But
3 years. Oof.
yeah,
It's
well,
tough.
I had it booked, and then I changed it because of like personal reasons, and then I had it ready for like the first year, but then COVID hit,
Oh shit.
and then it was meant to happen this year.
Yeah.
COVID hit.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's been a pain in the ass, but yeah,
Yeah.
I just can't wait to get out there and go somewhere.
Oh yeah,
I
no,
bet.
big time. This the staycation thing can just get fucked at this stage, because I'm just like I'm looking at hotels, and you're like, and it's the same thing as you go to. Like I used to do a lot of festivals and stuff in the East Midlands, so like Download Festival and a couple other
I had
heavy
that
metal
pilot.
festivals. Yeah, like their pilot thing. The first thing I saw on TikTok after that was this girl, and she's like, we're going around recording everything,
Seen it.
and then she's like,
I got a positive test.
positive test, well worth it though. I'm like, the one thing you shouldn't be talking about is positive tests on pilots and shit like that.
Mad.
Just keep your head under the fucking ground for that, at least for 10 days, and then just be like, oh yeah, I kind of got COVID there.
Yeah.
But not like the
that's
second day and all, I had the best weekend ever, and now I'm after having that like global death plague that can kill me nanny, and you're just like, fuck this. But it's crazy. Like,
So do you think you'll be going anywhere soon, or?
my thing was, I kind of did something which is not very, very mature of me, which I shouldn't have done. Like, I went back to college. I went to uni, and I got a degree. I got a degree in the last
Nice.
2 years. So
Nice one,
yeah,
mate.
so I got an international business degree, and
That's it.
so my plan now is that like I'm literally just waiting. I'm kind of like, I have my bags packed, ready to go,
Yeah.
just waiting for that green light for people to say you can go traveling again. I organise like you might see in the dog in the background, but like the dog has her passport, I have my passport. We're like hip hop ready to go. Just take a career. Like the thing, I think the big thing is, I don't know about you guys where you're working, but this whole remote working thing is huge now.
Oh yeah.
And, like I literally, if I just have my laptop and Wi-Fi, I can work pretty much anywhere.
That's cool.
So that's where I'm at with it. What about you guys?
Oh yeah, not Matt. No, Matt's the only one.
Yeah,
who kinda
Matt's a
still
barber.
Yeah.
Oh, do you know actually? Do you know what? Do you know what's unreal though? Right, I don't know if you're one. I definitely need a haircut. I'm after like sprouting this little mullet thing. It's unreal. But in Australia, like the money barbers get paid in Australia. Man.
Really?
Yeah,
It's-
it's funny. Everyone says that. It's like an internationally known that Australians need barbers and pay barbers a lot.
I paid
How much do you get
$65. I paid $65 for a haircut.
Yeah.
And like I literally I just was like on my phone, best barbers in Sydney, and I was like, go to this place, rocked all in, and the guys in did you ever see Auntie Donna? It's on Netflix. Did you ever see oh man, if you're into kind of, you remember like the Mighty Boosh? Mm-hmm. You ever see like the Mighty Boosh? This is kind of like the Australian version of it. So it's kind of like all these kind of like skits and stuff like that, but it's weird. They all play the same characters, but they do skits on each thing. But they go into this Australian barbers, and like your man's like, "Oh, you want a tattoo? Do you want a shot? Do you want this?" Blah, blah, blah.
Oh yeah, and they've got like they put like a bottle in his head and stuff like that.
Yeah, he's like smashing
Yeah,
bottles off his face.
yeah.
They turn around, there's a DJ in the corner, and you're like, "Oh yeah, you like that haircut?" Yeah. And you're just like, "What?" And then your man, but the guy who's getting his haircut is bald. Like, so the guy's getting his haircut, and he walks out and all, and he's like, "Oh, I paid $155 for that haircut. It was absolutely amazing." And he's like walking down the road, but they just take the piss out of it so much, like it's crazy.
Oh mate,
Matt,
I
you need
just,
to emigrate.
no, that's that way you can go. If you go Birmingham, there's a barber shop. I remember the first time we went out on a night out, there's a
Similar to
barber shop
Australia.
called Barber. And I walked in. I went, "I get a haircut."
Sounds like that nightclub.
They were like, yeah, sure. I mean, it's like it's a 5-hour wait. So if you just join the line you want, and I went, no, not really. I looked at the prices, and it was like 50 quid for like a skin fade and stuff. I was like, I'm sorry, but like I'm all for charging like modest prices, but 50 quid and shit like
In
that. But
Birmingham?
it's in the train station, but it's all very. I mean, where I work, I'd say it's chill. If you want a bottle of beer, go to the fridge and
Very.
get a bottle of beer. It's not like IPA or shit like that, but it's just
Good barber
Budweiser.
shop.
But there's a lot of like waistcoats and tashes, and you know what I mean. It's all a bit too much, but you know what?
There's one in London like that called Ruffians. Have you heard of it?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're quite cool, but they're quite expensive as well.
Some
But
of them,
you can go on the other side of it, and you can go to like a proper chavvy place where no one talks to you. The music's just boom chicka boom chicka boom chicka boom chicka boom chicka.
Oh yeah.
And then like you go, they all right? Is that all right with you? And you're like, nah, actually, but they're too busy, and like boom chicka boom chicka boom chicka boom
Yeah.
chicka boom chicka. They don't really care. But like, oh, I can't hear you, mate. And like, it's
Yeah.
fine. You know what?
Couple up city centre, which are like that. You walk past,
Yeah.
and you're like, fucking hell, that's just a barber's. It's mad.
Well, I nearly got a job at that one in
Oh, did
in
you?
the Milton Keynes Centre. Yeah.
Oh.
I didn't like the music that much. I'm more of like an Indian rock rather than a punchika 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 punchika.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I always think it's so funny though, like even though you get a bad haircut, they could literally show you a picture of your mom getting rode,
Yeah.
and you'd be like, "Yeah, that's perfect, mate. Thanks very much."
Yeah, like, that's
There-
what-
there's
love
a
it.
10 quid. There's a 10 quid tip, and you walk out and you ring your girlfriend straight away. He's like, "Oh, they ruined it on me. I'm so sorry." And like,
Before you even
that is a
get the
thing.
mirror, they're like, you go to get it, and they're like, yeah, it's fine. I'm like,
yeah.
how is it, by the way? And they're like, oh yeah, it's fine. It's fine.
Thing is, I expect it to be fine now, Matt. You've cut my hair so many times. I'm just used to saying, yeah, it's fine. So you don't really need to show the back unless you've like sketched a cock out or something. Then I'll be a bit fuming. But
it just goes to show how good I am at my job, mate.
Yeah, that's just it. Matt, are you
modest, man.
are you giving Ryan? If we all pay for Ryan's Phil Foden trim, we've got just for background. We've got a mate. We're going
Yeah.
to Birmingham on a night out next month, and he said that if we all pay him X amount of money, I can't remember the exact amount. It might have been
Just a
100
tenner,
quid,
innit? Tenner each.
like a tenner each, and he'll get it like he's not blonde at all, and he was going to get this Phil Foden trim, which I don't know if you've seen it.
No. What's this?
It's
I
like,
haven't realised this.
Oh, you know
Do you know
what?
Paul
I'll,
Gascoigne?
Basically,
Yeah, yeah.
I'll Google it quick.
yeah,
I'll Google it quick.
it's
Basically, what Paul Gascoigne used to look like.
Oh
Well,
yeah,
it's a
yeah,
bit
yeah.
With his
gassy.
blonde hair.
Right,
bleach
see?
like
blonde,
buzz cutty.
and then it's like a wedge.
Hang on.
Um,
I don't know how well
Oh,
that's not gonna focus, is it? But
Yeah,
basically, it's short.
I
blonde,
honestly
and
thought that
nothing
was a
else.
picture of Sinead O'Connor. But yeah, I just wanted to say, I have a mad dog. This is my dog. Say hello, yeah. And it's
Hey.
always a great idea that when you just take out loads of food and your dog's just kind of like, all right.
Yeah,
So just to let you know that she probably will start barking, and I'm so sorry. About
Don't
that,
worry.
'cause
What
I
dog
was
is
just-
it?
of a husky, so it's a
Oh.
Siberian husky. Her name's Opie, and she was actually doing really good for about about half an hour, and then she's just kind of looking at me, going like, "Come on, mate, like, come on, you
Yeah,
know the
move on.
sus."
Yeah.
But,
How's our food doing anyway?
Yeah,
How's the
I've
kebab?
done.
I've ordered too much.
mine's in,
I love the way I've ordered too much.
I've ordered too much.
How was the kebab?
Oh, my thing is, it's actually amazing for a country kebab. Now the lads know the sus. It was very good, very very good. I'm still kind of tucking away. I want to be very careful though, because like when you have a big beard, like eating a kebab, it's
Oh,
just
yeah.
like you're just left. Just like, ugh.
George, you know
I don't know
exactly. You George, you know the
I know.
problem, don't you?
Yeah, I get it all. It's these bits.
Me too.
It's these bits here which always gets caught up in. It's horrendous.
Have you seen that guy called Beard Meets Food?
Yeah, like
Oh.
if there was ever an icon for me, like I was just
that's
like,
the
Jesus,
guy.
that's a good look he has, you know.
me and my girlfriend watch him, and we're just sat there, and like when he's doing these food challenges, his beard is just like covered, and it's like, oh my god.
Yeah,
Like,
it's the milkshakes. It's the milkshakes that's the thing. Like,
Oh.
but hands down, I'll say, like, out of all the food that I've ever eaten, that I'd always avidly avoid. It's actually fried eggs. Like
really?
fried eggs. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Well,
Like
yolk.
yeah. As soon as that goes into your beard, you're gonna smell it all day.
Oh, that's a good
and
point.
it's disgusting, and it mats. It, like, I don't know what it is. It's like making little beardy dreads. And you just like have like little fucking rasta dreads hanging from your nose, and it's ridiculous. Like, but yeah, hands down, like, egg yolks is just, it's disgusting. Like, it's
I just touching on obviously that remind me of his name. You just said it for
Beard Meets Food.
Beard Meets Food.
Yeah.
Is he like your main inspiration? Because for me, whenever I see like foodies on YouTube, I always wonder if they go back, how far they go back for YouTube, and I wonder if they know about Epic Mealtime. And like people,
Oh my god, yes, epic meal.
because that, like, for me, if I was ever to make a cooking channel, it would be like 100% inspired by
bacon.
the bacon strips and like the entertainment that they gave.
Stop. See, I knew it was gonna happen. She's gonna do that, and she knows that as soon as she barks, she's gonna get something. So I'm just gonna I'm just gonna do a little sneaky mute, call her
respect
everything under the sun, and then like, and then I'll be back in 2 seconds. Sorry guys.
All good.
It's just like bed, and she's just like,
No, yeah.
Looks cute though.
I can see half a kebab there, mate.
Yeah.
And it's not happening. It's not happening. So yeah, I'll try my best to, because I can I actually know when she's gonna bark, so I'll probably be able to just mute it, hopefully, and it won't destroy the audio.
That's
But
right.
yeah, who thought it'd be a great idea to just like eat a load of food in front of your dog and be on a podcast and all this kind of stuff? Oh, the choice.
So we actually forgot to ask you a very important question, which Matt
Oh, I know it. I know it. I'm in.
Matt
Yeah.
kindly reminded it. So you could actually tip the scales there, because a certain thing is winning. What do you prefer?
Okay.
Orange juice or apple juice?
Orange juice or apple juice? I'm gonna say orange juice.
Yes!
All right. And the reason why I'm going to say orange juice is because it's a bit kind of scientific, and I don't know if you guys have ever been. Have you guys ever been to Amsterdam, or
Not yet.
have you ever
No, it's on the list.
dabbled in like doing mushrooms, or like I'm gonna turn around and look like some sort of drug expert or whatever. But I don't know if this is real or not. I don't know. You guys might be able to fact check it, but supposedly, if you're ever doing the likes of like mushrooms or MDMA or anything like that, we were told, like, when we were in Ibiza, they turned around to us and like, oh, if you ever want to like do the opposite, is they say like drink like a liter of orange juice.
Really?
What?
I don't know if that's a thing. That's I put
I've
it out there. I
never
put it out to
heard
the
that.
crowd, but yeah, supposedly if you drink like a thing of orange juice, supposedly it gets rid of the effects and it kind of sets you back, kind of does a factory reset for you.
Oh, okay.
Well, it is
Have you
refreshing,
ever-
isn't it?
Tried?
Tested it.
No, like the one, but I did have this in my head, right? And I went over to a couple of years ago. I did ayahuasca. I don't know if you
Oh,
guys
yeah,
have ever
I've heard of it.
ayahuasca.
No.
So basically, they get it's like one of the strongest world's hallucinogenics. And I went and I tried to do it because I suffer really bad with anxiety. I have like real bad kind of anxiety issues and stuff. And they were like, because everyone's doing like these little microdose things now, and they're like, oh, if you want to get rid of your anxiety, like I was at the stage of where I went through like doing like taking Lexapro tablets, like antidepressants and all this stuff, and it just wasn't working. I was just like, no. So they're like, I was literally at the stage where I was like, if you want to go up the side of a mountain in Malaga with 2 Colombian shaman and drink a magical vine from like the Amazon, wherever it was, would you be interested in doing that? There's really strong like studies and results to say that it helps you with depression and anxiety. And I was just like, I literally try anything at this stage.
Yeah.
So went in, had a shot of ayahuasca, and was with 2 Colombian shaman. It was in like the whole thing it was amazing, up the side of a mountain in Malaga. And went and I did that, and I was sitting there and I was just like, this is a bit shit. Not really happened.
Yeah.
I was like, not really, like this is a bit shit. And so I was there, that's all well good. And so they go, okay guys, because you do the shot and then you wait an hour, And while you're waiting, they're playing cool music and stuff. Now, the shaman guy, he was like shredding on this like acoustic guitar, and it was class. They were like, playing bongos, and it was unreal. Everything was class.
That's cool.
And then I was just like, I'm after getting a dud. I was like, this is shit. Nothing's happening. I don't know, like, what am I going to do? So I go up and I get a little shot. Now you're talking about like, I say shot as in it's handed to you in a shot glass, but it's literally like a tablespoon amount, like it's a tiny amount. And they're like, whoop, and they're like, oh, sound bud. And then he's like, oh, sit back down and go from there. And then I was just like, hold on a minute. And I started like things started happening, and it was crazy. And then like anyone that kind of suffers with like mental health and anxiety and all that kind of stuff is that they say like, oh, you have to ground yourself, so you have your 2 feet on the ground, you know where you are, you're doing breathing techniques, all this kind of stuff. And I'm like, okay, cool. And they say like the easiest way to ground yourself is kind of like close your eyes, try relax, get into like a meditative state, whatever. Every time I closed my eyes, I was seeing all this mad shit,
Right.
which made me panic. And then I opened my eyes, and the mad shit was still happening, and I was just like, "Oh no, this is horrible." So I was like, "Shit, what am I going to do now? Like, this is insane." And then I was like, "No, orange juice moment, game over. Give me the orange juice." And your one's looking at me, going, "What the fuck are you talking about orange juice for?" And I'm just like, "No," because I read on like whatever it was, like The Onion or something, like some probably satirical website or something.
Lad
Like, I read on
Bible.
The Onion satirical website. Yeah, Lad Bible. Yeah. Jamie the butcher in like Gloucestershire says, "Oh, if you drink like 2 liters of orange juice, you know, you'll come down off all this stuff and there'll be no issues."
Right.
And like all these guys are just looking at me going, "Why the fuck is this chap screaming for orange juice?" Because I was just like, I was gonzo.
Oh, yeah.
Like I was seeing mad stuff. I was seeing spiders and caterpillars and you name it. Like it was crazy. Like, but yeah. And then woke up the next morning and it was grand. And yeah,
good.
highly recommend it. Anybody who's ever who was at their wits' end with any of that kind of stuff, just do a load of hallucinogenics. I actually don't. I'm not a trained medical professional now. I'm some chap who's addicted to takeaway food now, so that's my release. But always seek professional medical help before you take hallucinogenics.
I definitely do it. I want to experience it because
Me too.
obviously in certain environments and whatnot, you want to make sure that you're in the right space for it. But I would like to experience that and see
one hell of an experience.
just see what goes on, see what essentially your brain unlocks with all this shit inside you. It'd be interesting.
What I kind of found, which was a bit kind of crazy about the whole sort of situation, was it was the fact that so many people see the same thing at the same time, and they don't talk about it.
Wow.
So like that's my kind of thing, and that's kind of when you get down to the Joe Rogan kind of stuff where they do DMT, because it's the same thing. Ayahuasca, DMT, it's the same stuff. It's just the way you take it or whatever. And they talk about like seeing such and such, blah 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 blah, and it's all because they were in the same room. That they weren't discussing anything what they saw. It was like, I saw this, and then they were like, okay, and then you tell me a little bit, and then so they kind of like do a thing where they say like half a sentence, and then the other person finishes it, and then it kind of goes like, oh, I was there, I was in the same kind of thing. And then that's when you kind of get into this spirituality side of things, where you're kind of going like, what the fuck is happening here? You know, it's a bit mad.
Oh man, I'd like to experience it, definitely.
Sounds fucking mental,
Yeah.
but very cool.
Yeah, like that is one of the biggest things when you talk about when you go over to Koh Phangan over in Thailand.
Yeah.
Is that you have like the mushy shakes, mushroom mountain, and all that kind of stuff, and they always had like these tubing things where you'd go down the river on these tubings, and you're there drinking mushroom shakes, and you're supposed to have the best time of your life. Turns out people that are off their tits on hallucinogenics tend to drown a lot.
Yeah.
So, yeah. They had that,
There's a place like that in
they kind of
Vietnam as well, I'm
nip
pretty
that in the
sure.
bud. Is it? Yeah. They do like all this kind of mad stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Oh well. Good
Crazy.
times.
I think I
Good times had by all. Like, happy days.
Go back to the old takeaway thing.
I think I try to stay
yeah,
away
yeah.
from that kind of stuff, to be honest.
Was that Matt?
I probably think I try to stay away from that kind of stuff. You know what I mean?
Do ya?
I don't know. I just find that unsettling. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I can respect that.
there is one aspect to it, and we can kind of go full circle with the whole thing as well. Is that when lads are on holidays, or when you're on your holidays, you'll try anything. And it turns out that eating like raw shellfish in Malaga is probably a bad idea, and you're going to shit yourself in the next 4 days. And there's nothing worse when you're like having a little bop in like some absolute crackdown place that like you're after getting like 5 shots for 50 cent. You're like, oh, this is unreal, and then you're like, oh, why is it that like so many people tend to do the likes of say like have never had like shellfish before, and they do it while they're on holidays.
Yeah.
They've never done drugs before, and they do it. Oh, this is my first weekend in Ibiza, and I'm after doing 5 pills in one go, and you're like,
Yeah,
whoa,
slow down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
a bit much, man, a bit much. Why do you think that is?
I don't know. People just
I
get
think-
loose, don't they? On holiday?
Yeah, probably just a memories thing. Like, the first time I want to do this, I want to do it here because this place is unique and this experience
Yeah.
is unique. But it's like,
Yeah, that makes sense.
100%.
it just, but that, it should, like you say, with the pills and all the drugs and whatnot, it shouldn't be the case. I feel like if you're going to experience with that kind of stuff, go for it, educate yourself, but at the same time, do it in an environment where you know you're safe and where you're with people that you trust and whatnot, not on, like you say, in some mad night out in a crack den in Ibiza, being like, yeah, this is exactly what I want right now. Like,
I feel that's,
no.
that's similar to festivals though, because a lot of people do
Yeah.
do stuff like that at
That's
festivals, because it's
Yeah.
kind of there's labels when it comes to like festivals, like that's kind of what you do in a way. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
In certain festivals, and I feel like
Yeah.
people
Oh.
think that it's the norm, so they do it
100%.
because
I'll
it's
get
Mate,
standard.
when I went last time I went to Reading, and I don't want to like glorify doing drugs and stuff like that. That's like the wrong thing to do. But I can't even remember what tablet it was, and I took it with alcohol. And I remember being with Jake, and Jake didn't do it. I don't want to bring Jake into it, but we were watching AJ Tracy, mate, and suddenly I started feeling like I just had to do something right there. But this guy was like, we were like all singing the songs and everything, and I smacked him in the face, like proper like. I mean,
Right.
I just think he was as it was off his nut as much as me. He looked at me and literally like hugged me and stuff. Whilst like, and I started like feeling like I was shaking, like proper like bursting at my fucking like out my veins and stuff. And I was like, I've got to get out of here. And I remember Jake was like, well, you shouldn't have done that. Why would you do that? You're gonna ruin the whole day. I was like, it's fine. I need some water. It's fine. And yeah.
Yeah. No, no, it is. It is. It's a crazy thing. Like, it's just something about being on holidays and wanting to try like new kind of cuisines or new things, and you're trying to be like, oh yeah, cool, let's go do this as well, because you don't want like FOMO, you don't want the
Sure. Yeah.
fear of missing out on something. Like I get the fear of missing out when like KFC release a new burger and I don't have it. Like, it's just like, oh no, this is unreal. Like, I have to have it today. And they're like, Kev, you've just had a full roast dinner. And I'm like, yeah, I know, but I've just seen this thing and
need it.
I have to try it. Like, I have to just stick it in my face. And like that was a huge thing for me. Definitely like seeing like one of the big things that happened in Ireland now was tacos. Tacos are like
Really?
this new kind of craze, and everyone and their auntie are doing like tacos and stuff like that. Luckily enough, now one of the best kind of taco chefs in all of, basically, well, I'm going to say all of the world because he's unreal, but he's actually one of my best mates. And I booked it, and how it happened is that it was like this new restaurant opened up, and it's called Frank's in Dublin, and the chef is in the middle. It's kind of like a teppanyaki or teppanyaki kind of thing, where they like cook. They're cooking in front of you, and they're just handing you the food.
Yeah, cool.
And he was doing this in this Frank's place, and he was like handing out these amazing tacos. And I just thought he was never like, it was like a one and done kind of thing. And I was just like, oh man, like next time you're in Ireland, let me know, like we'll go for a couple of beers. And he's like, I live in Dublin. I was like, huh? He's like, yeah, I have like a taco truck, it's at like my girlfriend's farm, just like pull up and I'll make you some tacos someday. And I was just like, but you're like American. He's like, yeah, but I just live in Dublin. Here's my girlfriend.
Yeah.
Like, here's my girlfriend Laura, we've been with each other for hours.
Yeah.
And since that day to like the present day, which has been like 3 or 4 years now, he's literally just been like, try this, and I eat it, and I'm like, oh fuck. But I used to not eat like like my rule was I didn't eat anything that lived underwater.
Right.
So I was just like, no, like shellfish, fish, and they're like, oh well, what else doesn't live underwater that's not shellfish or fish? And I'm like, turtles. I'm not gonna eat turtles, all this kind of stuff. But like he was like making me like these like they were called crab tostadas. So it was like this big huge mound of like crab meat and stuff, and it was like kind of a thing. I never, and he was just like, try that and let me know how you think, and I ate every single bit of it.
That sounds so good.
It turns out like the reason why I hated fish so much is that when I was growing up as a kid, is that the only fish that I ever really had was just fish fingers, and they're just, it was like bird's eye. I just thought like all fish came in like this fried breaded fucking shit stick. So it's just like, alright, sound. And it was just like, no, I just never had really fresh fish or produce cooked there professionally, and it was good. Like, and that definitely, and like from that day to the present day, that was one of the main reasons why I actually started doing like the podcast, like the between the podcast and the blogs and posting up all that kind of stuff, is because there were so many people turning around to me and they were just like, oh, the best chicken wings in Dublin are in Elephant and Castle, and I was like, no, they're not. And they're like, what? They're like, oh no, you have to. And I just was like, literally, here's a list of like all these places that piss all over Elephant and Castle chicken wings, and they're just like these little hidden gems, right? And what kind of really kind of got to me before was I was seeing this girl for ages, and I was bringing her to all of these like cool little hip kind of restaurants and food trucks and all this kind of stuff, and we broke up, unfortunately, and I was more pissed off that she brought her new boyfriend to my chicken wing place. I was like, whoa!
You should go to Elephant and Castle.
Like,
that's what he was saying. He was like, go on, this is my spot. You fuck off to Elephant and Castle.
Yeah. And I was like, whoa. Like, I don't give a fuck that you're getting rode by him. But don't be getting my chicken wings. Like, these are mine. Yeah. And I was literally like, I'm so tempted now, like, just come up with like this pre-nump kind of like agreement thing. Just be like, okay, you're not allowed to go to Wishbone in Dublin. You're not allowed to get kebabs from like Passion for Food, or get tacos in this place and all, or at least give me like 12 hours previous notice or something.
It's principles. Come on.
I think that's reasonable.
Yeah.
You know? I reckon you should do it. It's like, I think that'd be a good thing.
Just do like it's like, Kev, why do I have a contract here? I was like,
sign it.
Sign it. Give it back.
Just no need to read any of this.
Absolutely not.
There you
go. So where would you say in Dublin? This could, I don't know if you'd be able to answer this, but is there a place in Dublin that is your favourite place to go eat? Do you have a favourite restaurant, or favourite food truck, or somewhere that you just, if you were thinking you were hungry, you just wanted to go?
Yeah. There's a couple of places now. Like, we used to, like, anytime generally when I'd be in Dublin or getting food or anything like that, I have tried a good few spots. So for me, at the end of a night, like after having a few beers or whatever, you're in town, generally either go with a pizza or a kebab. Like, that's my thing. So there's a place in town called D. Fontaine's Pizza, and they do New York style pizza. And it's actually owned by the lead singer of Fun Love and Criminals.
Oh man!
So he owns it, but I think because he has so many drug charges, he's not allowed back into the country.
Right?
There's some mad thing, but it's Steve Fontaine's Pizza. Absolutely amazing. You go in, you get like a pizza slice that's the size of your head. It's literally like,
nice.
Like, do you ever see them like pictures on Instagram and stuff where it's like a guy holding a baby and there's like the slice of pizza? Yeah. That's what you get for like €4. Wow. So you go in, get a slice of pizza or whatever. And they stay open till like 5 o'clock in the morning.
Oh, really?
So it's perfect.
Ideal.
It takes like 2 minutes and then you're good to go. After that, then you're kind of going down the kind of kebab route. And generally, if you're in town, Zaytoun kebabs, like, you can't go wrong with that. It's super fresh, all the produce and stuff. Like, that's one thing that, like, with the kebab that I'm after getting today, it's frozen. I'm going to say it's a frozen piece of shit, but like all kind of like fish and chip shops or whatever, they just have this weird frozen brown stick, and there's just like some guys like carving the side of it. When you go to the likes of Zaytoun and stuff, it's all fresh. Like all the meat is all brand new. Nothing is ever frozen or anything like that. All the
Ideal.
produce, so you're getting like fresh vegetables, all that kind of stuff. So it's good. But yeah, so they'd be kind of the two things. But if you're looking for, say, the likes of like a burrito, Pablo Picante's for burritos and tacos, because they're authentic. Like they're authentic to a degree. And then I don't know if there's a place over in which you guys call Boojum. Do you have Boojum burritos?
No,
do you ever
never
know?
heard of it.
So basically, there was this. I think there was just these a couple of Irish lads, and they just invented a burrito, and not that they invented it, but they invented a burrito that was specifically for students.
Right.
And it turns out that when it started off, that all of the students, as they were kind of progressing through university, it followed with them. So you have like all of these students, like brand new students that are straight in uni, like first year students, and then you have all of these guys that have in their suits and all this stuff, because they've just grown for the last like 4 or 5 years on eating these student burritos, because it's like a full burrito with as many kind of like toppings and all that kind of stuff. Except guacamole's always extra.
Yeah.
It's like you get sour cream, cheese, lettuce, whatever. Guacamole. Oh no, that's like €3 extra. Like bit shit. But they make these burritos, right? And no joke, they're like this size.
Oh, Christ.
They're giant, and they'll fill you for the whole day for like €5.
I like that.
So,
like the sound of that.
You can't go wrong with
No
that.
way.
But what about you guys? What's your like staple? You know,
I say you got to keep.
Where's your go-to
Keep it in
stuff?
Buckingham. Keep it in Buckingham.
Keep it in Buckingham.
Yeah.
Okay, let's keep it in Buckingham.
Oh fucking hell! I would have said good old Roosters on a night out.
Yeah.
There was this just a shit kebab shop, basically, like you said, frozen shit kebab. That was like a standard on a night out, but it's no longer there anymore.
No, it's changed into a noodle bar.
Yeah.
Is it?
Which
Yes.
is quite...
I thought you were going to say a nude
A
bar.
nude bar.
I was just like,
Now we go there before we get the food after the night.
Yeah.
It's actually a noodle bar.
Yeah, mate. It's changed. It's where next to the White Hart, and it's like he won't open anywhere past 8 because he doesn't want the riff-raff. He makes really good noodles, and he's got like a
Sure
secret
does.
Roosters menu. But yeah, he just wanted a dine-in area.
Fair enough.
I like that.
It
Yeah, I
was
would have
Roosters.
said Roosters. I can't think of anywhere else that kind of
Yeah.
is a staple in. But
It's kinda
Bins, I
taking it
guess, is
away.
our.
What about
Bins
the
is kind
chippy?
of-
What about Smart?
Yeah,
Smarts
Smarts is good.
is good.
It is. It's just I don't. Whenever I go there, it's shut. But I think that's just because of my timings or whatever.
You go at 2 o'clock, mate. That's siesta.
There you go.
where is Buckinghamshire? Is that like
It's about an hour
up the
away from
north,
London.
in the south?
Yeah, it's like in the
on
middle of
train.
London and Oxford, really.
Yeah. We're in quite a good area.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
the kind of big city near us is Milton Keynes. I don't know if you've ever heard of Milton Keynes, but
Yeah.
that's kind of
wow.
that's where I'm very close to, and then Matt and George are like
No, I'm
15
Brackley.
minutes away from me.
Haz is
back
here,
here,
yeah.
I'm
Okay.
here, and George is there, basically.
That's the best map I've ever seen, man.
Yeah, that's how we do all our. That's how. How's
Yeah, that's what we
Fox's
do over in
Thailand trips.
Buckingham.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just fist each other.
Where are you off to? You off to? Oh, you off to Tesco's? Oh yeah.
Which Tesco's? Because this Tesco's and that Tesco's.
Yeah.
Tesco's Express.
Nice,
Oh, look at
nice. That
this.
was good.
Making our own
It's like
fucking language
phones
here.
for you.
That was
God, I ain't
good.
seen that in ages. Phones for you.
Yeah,
Fucking
yeah.
hell, throwing it back.
That's not a thing anymore. Fuck
Yeah,
you.
I fly into Gatwick whenever I go
Right,
to London.
yeah.
Yeah, I fly
That's-
and then get the Gatwick Express.
It's a bit of a
straight
trek.
in, so
Bit of a trek from us.
would that be for you guys?
Yeah, our closest is Luton as an airport, and then it would be
Oh, is it,
Heathrow,
yeah?
and then it would be Gatwick. You're basically going to
okay.
Brighton if you're going to Gatwick.
Yeah.
Oh,
True.
shit.
Yeah, it's
No way.
quite a bit of a trek. Yeah. Right. So
Cool.
we was gonna rate. You was gonna get. Oh, I can't speak.
Go on,
we was gonna
try
get you to rate our takeaway.
Yeah, happy days.
So-
Yeah, sounds good.
I think if we do like a scale out of 10, I don't really know how we'd do this, but
Mhm.
we'd do a side, main, and then kind of like whatever else you've got with it, and then
Mhm.
I think you proper judge it, tell us what you think, and then rate out of 10. So I'll go first.
Yeah.
So I had the
Yeah.
barbecue Hong Kong chicken wings. I had the Hong Kong barbecue burger, which to be fair, weren't amazing.
Yeah.
fries.
I probably would. I probably would have went from. I wouldn't have gone like Hong Kong wings. I probably would have gone with like Mexico burger or something.
Taking them
Yeah,
down.
it was a meal. It was its own meal. So I was like,
Okay.
sounds.
Cool. Okay.
It sounded quite nice and it looked good on the picture, but I
Yeah.
won't like the burger's really like soggy because there was so much sauce in it.
Yeah.
Fries were good. The wings were really good. The burger not so much. So that's mine. So then, don't know what you'd kind of give.
And
that.
how much was it? How much was it?
Mine was £16,
Oh,
and it came with a drink.
Okay.
It came with a good old Coke.
Cool.
Matt, what
Sounds good.
give us yours?
Is it? Do you reckon it's best to just like rate them one at a time or at the end, or
yeah.
how would you want to do
Yeah, because
No. Yeah. So if you all three go, and then I'll tell you which one I would have
Okay,
ordered myself.
yeah, so like
out of the
a
three.
third,
Okay,
second,
so-
first job?
I got, as I'd say, my starter, kind of working things out. So I got the burnt pork belly ends, which was put in like a.
Belly ends sounds a bit.
It's nice though. It's
Sounds a bit
nice
pink.
though.
Pork belly.
And then I
Yeah, I was just gonna be like.
and then I had an overpriced
Crispy.
Big Mac basically in like a brioche bun, all that, and then just some.
Brioche buns can just get in the fucking bin.
Yeah.
Just so it's like, added extra brioche bun, and you're like,
Why?
so an extra 170 for a bun that doesn't have seeds on it.
Fully.
Yeah, and then I had skin on potato fries, so chips,
Always good.
Nice.
and
Any sauce though? Any garlic sauce? Or?
I would say I had bin mayo, which is basically like
Oh yeah.
cocktail sauce really with gherkins in.
Yeah.
And I had 2 cans of Coke with it. And may I add, again with the maps, this is where the food come from. This is where I work. Probably 8 steps away. They charged me £2 for
Oh,
delivery. So I just want you to keep that in mind.
That's a piss.
Oh,
take.
Keep
wow,
you in
yeah.
mind.
Why didn't you just go pick it up?
That's a good
Because I
point.
was working.
Oh yeah, okay. No, it wasn't a rush. It wasn't a rush.
Imagine you're halfway through some dude's skin fade, and you're just like, hold on a minute.
Cheers, mate. Yeah.
No, I was.
There's nothing worse. Like
Oh.
there's nothing worse than there's a barber, and you're like, especially with like I have like super long hair, so they put clips and
Yeah.
fucking everything.
Oh, yeah.
And they're, like, doing all this shit. And you're like, oh no, and then you're like, oh hold on there, and like my barber, he's the best guy in the world, but he takes fucking phone calls on his watch. So he's like, boop. So as he's cutting, all you hear is like, meh. It's like, hey man, yeah, what's your story? You come for a couple of pints later, and you're like, he's like, and then he stops. He's like, yeah, I dare to around 6:30 or something, and you're like, oh man, what the
Yeah.
fuck? Yeah, fun times. Yeah. All right, so George, last but not least,
Oh god, my dodgy Indian. Right, so I had a chicken tikka masala with a side of, it's called plain rice, but I think that's just bog standard rice. It didn't taste microwaved. It actually tasted alright. And then I had 2 poppadoms, a garlic and chili naan, and then a side of chips because I'm English, and if I don't have chips with any takeaway, I'm sad. And that came to 15 quid.
That's pretty good.
15 quid.
Mine was
not
80. No, mine was £20 with delivery, please. By the way, just let you know.
£20 including delivery.
With
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you know what's so funny? Like, so my podcast, the way my podcast works is that we have like 20. I have €20 or the equivalent in that whatever country we're working with, and in America, George Motes, when he ordered in his food, the taxes, charges, and delivery alone was €20.
Christ.
Fuck yeah, now.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
mad.
So I was just like, I know. So I was like, so how much was your whole bill? And it came to something like $77.
oh my god.
Christ.
Fuck yeah, now.
Yeah, and he didn't, like, he got a beer. They sent him a beer, a pretzel, and a schnitzel thing. Like this, like,
Whoa.
schnitzel thing. That's all for $70.
Fuck me.
That's it.
What the fuck?
Delivery. Yeah, like it was. I was there. Like my jaw hit the floor when he was saying that, because like the what I wanted to do with my podcast is that like it was supposed to be your favorite kind of food, but also kind of like the best value. So yeah, okay,
100%.
in one sense, if you're going to be ordering whatever, like, but if you can get a meal deal for €4 for €20
Yeah.
or $20 or whatever, get the meal deal for $4, man.
Yeah.
You know, do something like that, like, and feed your family or do whatever you want. But like, like one meal, 70 quid.
That must have been a fucking good schnitzel. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
He said that alone was like the pretzel was like $13.
Fucking
For,
hell.
he said it was like
What the
supposedly-
fuck?
but it was like high end pretzel. I was like, I'd want it.
How fucking high end was
Yeah.
that?
Yeah, yeah.
Fucking
And
hell.
the beer as well was something like $9 or $10
Jesus Christ.
delivered. Like, yeah.
Beer is expensive.
So
over
like we
there.
don't. Yeah, it is. Yeah. We don't know how lucky we have it. Like I remember before, like well before the takeaway man thing, and I'm not really one for kind of like slating restaurants and stuff like that. But I was in Birmingham, and I saw this meal deal thing, and rookie mistake. Never order a pizza from an Indian restaurant. Because that was the first thing.
Yeah.
So like rookie mistake, but I was just like, hold on a minute. It was something like £14, and I got like a large pizza, chicken wings, 2 drinks, and I was just like, this
Sounds
is
like a boss
unreal.
man shop.
Yeah.
Yeah, big time. Like, and the food was delivered, and I left him such a bad review that he honestly rang me and was like, why did you leave me such a bad review? And I said, out of all of the food that I've ever ordered, I said I had 1 slice, and I had 1 chicken wing, and I drank the 2 drinks, and I put everything else in the bin. That's how bad it was.
Wow.
And he was just like, what you mean? Like, there was nothing wrong with it. And I was just like, it was just so bad. There was just so many things wrong with it. You know, like when you're going to these places now, and you have like, there's the pizza base.
Yeah.
You kind of want it to be fresh
Yeah.
if you're getting
Yeah,
it from
sure.
a restaurant.
Yes.
100%.
They got like that thing from Tesco. You know when
Oh,
you
yeah,
go into Tesco
Build
and
your
you,
own.
like,
Build
cook
your own.
pizzas.
Yeah,
Build your own. Yeah.
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 Yeah, and you have this thing, and it's like, oh, pizza for the first time with a 2-year-old, and you're like, oh, let's make pizza together, and you know it's going to taste like shit anyway, but you're just doing it to amuse the kid.
Definitely.
And that's what they sent out. Like, I was just there going, like, and I think the main thing that pissed me off so much about it was that they didn't eat. Not that they didn't even slice the pizza into slices, is that they physically couldn't slice the pizza
Oh,
into
wow.
slices.
Fucking
So it was like,
hell.
yeah, you know, like big kind of things, and you're like pulling this, and it was literally like
Yeah, it wouldn't.
doing that, so it was like
Sounds
pulling
fucking
teeth.
grim.
But, yeah,
That was going to be
So-
one of my questions. What was your worst like meal
There you
you
go.
ever had? So there we go.
yeah. Well, like that's the thing. Like it's few and far between. Like you're kind of taking in. I think because so many people, when you're trying to be a foodie or a blogger or whatever, everyone tells you, everyone is sending you to these places. Oh, try this. Oh, try that.
Yeah.
Blah, 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 blah. And what I've found out now is that like there's a big thing on Instagram food.
Oh,
Yeah.
massive.
Instagram
Yeah.
is like
The home of it.
it's you see these like big huge giant burgers and you're like, wow, that's amazing. And like I say there's probably more nutritional value in eating your phone than actually trying to eat these burgers.
Yeah,
Because
definitely.
like I was just looking at it, I was just like, hold on a minute. And it's kind of like, remember years ago where Homer, he's looking at the barbecue and then he's looking at what he made.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
the thing is just in bits.
Yeah.
Like that's what I'm like now with my with looking at this food. It's such a piss take. Like it's crazy.
100%.
I like that.
But,
That's good.
yeah.
So going back to the rating then, or what you what meal
Well,
would you
I think
want?
George. I think unfortunately George, like that's like a chicken tikka. Like fair play to you. You don't seem like a big enough lad. How much did you finish it all, or what way is it working out?
I ate all the chicken and all the rice. I left a poppadom
Yeah.
and like half a naan. No, I ate all the naan. So just a poppadom and the
Not too
sauce.
bad.
But
It feels like he's kind of trying to explain that to his mum after eating all of his time.
Yeah.
He's like,
I did it. I promise.
I've had all the
Yeah.
chicken. I've had all the chicken. Can I go play video games, mum? Shit. I didn't want it to come across like that at all. But I was actually I was really hoping for him to say, "Oh yeah, every fucking
Every bit. Nah,
Oh,
I
yeah,
bottled the
every bit,
poppadom.
man. There's
I bottled the poppadom.
I generally start with the poppadom. That's my thing. I'm just
Oh,
like,
you see, I've even eaten it
it's like
wrong.
little crisps.
It's gone wrong.
Cool. And then I think one of the things that put me off with Matt's food is the way he edit. You can kind of look through it. He kind of like dismantled this Big Mac.
Oh
and
my
edit in
god!
sections.
Everyone takes notice of that. That's what I do
Yeah.
at McDonald's.
Like,
Christ, if I knew you were watching, I would have eaten it like this. Fuck you know.
like I've never seen someone have a deconstructed Big Mac
Yeah,
before.
I-
Like it's
I get it.
really
I
set up
Yeah.
for you. Like it's
I
like
go bottom and then top. 'Cause it's
That's
just,
mental.
I don't know. It is brilliant and it works for me. I change it.
Hey, listen.
and you know what? No one is judging except everybody that watches this. and
him
me
right now.
personally.
Yeah.
I can only hold it against you forever.
Have that.
But yeah, I think another thing as well is because yours was the most expensive.
Yeah.
I reckon if you had to turn around to me and said 10 quid, I'm after getting a burger, 2 drinks, some chips, a dip with it or whatever, I go, yeah, 10 quid. But 18 quid delivered is a bit of a kick in the nuts.
Oh yeah.
Like
20 with
What do
20
you-
with delivery.
20 with
Yeah.
delivery.
But I'm not even kidding. What is like at the back of your room? That's probably 2 of those. That's where this place is.
Genuinely. Yeah. That's mental.
No.
Can't believe
way.
they charge you for delivery.
I should have just
Yes,
gone in there, but
You're cutting someone's hair, weren't you, mate?
I don't know.
Shit happens.
Just ask your man, whoever you're cutting your hair, do you want that in the chipper? Actually,
Yeah.
pop it in. But yeah, I don't know. So Harry, then I think one of, and it's probably something I don't know if you checked it out on my page. The first ever competition that I ever did, like a food eating competition, was a chicken wing contest, and it was the Man v Food Suicide Chicken Wing contest.
I think
Yeah.
I did see that.
So it was like eating these chicken wings. They had goggles on and gloves and all
Yeah,
that
yeah.
kind of stuff. And I think just because from seeing the way those chicken wings were prepared, and you were like, you
I was getting
were
messy.
definitely not on you definitely weren't on a first date eating them wings. Like you were just
way.
there, you're like licking it and all, licking it. And
I've
So
got
you were
so
like-
much tissue down here.
you're like
Ooh.
far from like breaking them and sucking them in front of you, like. So I think you were probably one step away from doing that. To be fair.
Fair play.
So I think what I probably would have done, if I don't know if it's possible, but I probably would have put Matt's burger with your chicken
Ooh.
wings.
Yeah,
Shout.
I think I would have done the same.
If that's possible now, if that's the thing, and I know I'm splitting hairs, but sure, geez, you throw in a couple of poppadoms
Yeah, thank
as well.
you. Appreciate, I was going to
Sure,
say,
go
at least give me some poppadoms. At least give
Very
me some.
democratic answer.
Yeah.
Yeah, we throw in some poppadoms as well. But that actually, so I think in regards to kind of in order, I think unfortunately, George, I think you got
It's fine.
I think you got a 3 out. I think you got a 3 out of 10.
Oh.
Like,
oh,
He was
Like,
craving
it's-
this Indian for ages as well.
but that's the thing. Like you do, but at least go for the likes of like a lamb
No,
rogan
you're too
Josh
right.
or
No, you are right.
like a vindaloo,
Yeah.
a madras.
played
You
it
could even
safe,
go
mate.
down
I've
like
basic bitched it. And got a tikka masala. I deserve a 3. If it was higher than a 5, I'd call you a liar. So I do respect the 3.
I'd say a solid 3 because you ate most of it.
Hey,
as
listen,
well.
I'll
So
take that. A
that's-
solid 3.
Yeah,
That's what my girlfriend calls
solid
me.
3.
I like that, George.
And then I think I'm just gonna. I think what let Matt down like was pretty bad was just the overall price and that and there's nothing worse, and it's something that I've definitely found doing on my podcast as well, and it's a serious kick in the dick. Is that like you're sitting here and you're eating food, and there's no natural kind of like when you're in a restaurant. There's a waitress is going to come over or whatever, a waiter's going to come over and they're going to be like, your starter's finished. I'm going to take that
Yeah.
plate away from you. But when you're doing something like this and you're having conversation, you're kind of like eating and then you're going,
Yeah.
oh, hey, yeah. You're eating and then food goes cold.
Yeah.
And I honestly don't think there is any sort of takeaway food that can be reheated that brings it up to that same level.
Too right.
You know,
Chinese ain't bad.
Like,
I don't know, mate.
Chinese ain't bad. But like, there's some sick fuckers out there, man, that just eat that shit
Oh,
cold.
I can't.
Yeah.
I don't get
Just
it.
like
If it's a chow mein,
straight for the. Yeah,
I could do
I
it.
was thinking about it.
mate. If I'd been like,
but that's the
if
thing.
I'd been hungover and the last thing I want to do is just fucking heat up like chow mein, I would just eat it straight from the fucking.
put it in the microwave, you lazy shit. That's a minute.
I can eat it.
It's a minute
It
out of
doesn't
your
matter.
life. Go to the toilet, go and get a glass of water, put it in the microwave.
Yeah.
You fucking
What about
lazy
pizza? Do you eat
twat.
cold pizza?
I can accept
No.
that. I
No.
can let it slide.
Easily eat cold pizza.
I would heat it up if I could.
I had this really, really horrible bad trait for years. Like when I was like 18, 19, 20, and I was going out on the rip and getting annihilated drunk on like 3 beers and then coming back home going, oh, it's unreal. I used to, in the taxi home, I used to order Domino's.
Oh.
And I'd forget
Oh,
about it.
Oh,
And I'd
shit.
pay, like, and I'd pay over the phone, and I don't know how many mornings I woke up and there'd be like a meal deal for 4 just for me, that's just sitting there with like garlic bread and just sit.
Stone
It's like
cold.
in the porch of my house, and I was just there going like, all right. But that's what freaks me out. Then I'm just like, this has been outside all night now. It's just, can you still eat it? Like there's nothing worse. But yeah. So I'm gonna for Matt's one actually. I'm gonna. I think like a solid 6 for Matt's.
It's decent. It's decent.
And actually, unless I say I'm gonna give him a solid 9 and I get a free haircut, maybe.
Bang bang.
Keep her a trim.
Mate, if you're ever in Buckingham, I will cut your hair for sure, and you can hold me to that.
You don't know, like my hair is fucking seriously long.
No, it's obviously
it's
get it
literally, like-
cut before you come to me. Obviously, I'm not going to be the first one to touch it.
Oh, do you know what? Do you know what? I'm tempted now. I'm gonna hold you to that now.
Do it.
I'm gonna fly over.
No,
to
I'm
the-
not. I'm
gonna
not.
fly
I'm
over
not
to the
even
UK for,
kidding.
like,
Get like your fade and stuff. Get that shit cut off first, and then come to me. I'm not going to be the one to do the first one.
He doesn't want the actual
Yeah.
work. That's what Matt's. That's what he's
You're gonna have
basically
to
saying.
But
go down to Woody's and get like one of them plug-in fucking hedge trimmers or something. Like, yeah.
other than that,
Scary
mate,
movie all
if
over again.
it's just grown over the ears a little bit and the neck, fine. Come in, happy to do it. You hold me to that. Hold me to it.
Happy days. Happy days. And then yeah, I think we go with Harry's one. I think like with the order, but I think what kind of got me, I was going to give you like a solid order. I said, yeah, cool, the chicken wings look good, you seemed happy eating them.
They were banging.
Reasonable enough price. You had like a can of Coke and that with it as well. But then you just turned around, you're like, the burger was shite.
I'm being
not
honest.
just
I'm
stuff,
being
not
honest.
just
If it was a bit, it was just sloppy. Like if it held a bit better, it would have been really good. And then the kind of issue that we was just talking about, I was too focused on my wings. The wings were good enough.
Right. Right.
Like I had about 10 wings there in a box,
Bloody
and they filled me up, and I've only eaten like half this burger. But
Yeah.
if honestly, if it was a bit more, you know, it kept its burgerness, it would have been a lot better.
Yeah. Oh, happy days. Yeah. So I'm gonna go. I'll say you inched ahead because of you got it for so cheap. I'll say a solid 7. We go.
I'll take a 7.
A 7. But Jesus Christ, George, man, you're gonna have to spice things up a bit or something.
Yeah, if you ever on again and we do it again, I promise I'll get something more like out there and something
Madras.
better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Madras.
Yeah.
I went
Get a
safe with
Boona.
Matika because I was like, I finished work and I was like, I'm just hungry. Like, I just need something which I can like
Are you good?
trust.
Are you good with spice, George?
Dog shit, but I'd give it a go. I'd happily give it a go. I'm sure it'd
Go
be
for a
fun
good
to
old
watch at least.
Vindaloo as it's the Euros, mate.
Yeah, well, there is that in there.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll see.
What would you have rated your kebab then? How good was it?
Do you know what, lads? It was actually for an Irish kind of kebab that's outside of Dublin and stuff. It was authentic enough. Now the only thing is that like it was the frozen stuff. So, yeah, grand. But like the whole meal, including like I still like there's so many chips left. Like
Yeah, I mean that was a
fucking
I was
massive.
eating I was eating like half a bag of chips.
Give some to the dog.
I know, yeah, no. The thing, like, give some to the dog, and they'll rock it out her arse. But yeah, like it's madness. But yeah, like that whole meal cost me €10.
Oh wow.
Yeah, that's pretty fucking mad.
So that what's that, like £6?
Yeah, that's not bad at all.
About that.
Yeah.
To be
Wow.
fair, that's quite standard for a kebab and chips around here, I'd say.
Yeah.
That is quite standard. So
Yeah. actually.
Now, unfortunately, like because it's rural Ireland and whatever, like I had to. That's one of the other reasons why I was late, is because I physically had to run down to the chipper and grab it, and then run back up to the house. So yeah, between that and the technical difficulties, but yeah, all in all, like it was grand. Like it was okay. Good stuff. Like
I'll give it a.
yeah, I definitely
5.5.
order again. Yeah. Oh yeah.
I'll give it a 2.
Like that's the thing. Like when bullshit.
Yeah.
It's more spice in that kebab than there was in your curry, George.
Oh, leave it out, will
It
ya?
was a bit
Listen.
spicy. A bit spicy. Yeah.
Well, I think on that review, then we'll leave it there. It's been a good episode, been a funny episode. It's been great chatting to you.
No, cheers.
And
guys.
yeah, we're
you so
happy to have
much.
you on again in the future.
Yeah,
We'll try and
100%.
get George a bit of a spicier
Yeah,
curry.
maybe
Yeah.
I'll let you
Yeah.
choose my next one. How about that? I'll let you.
Yeah,
I'll
we'll
let
do
you-
that.
Oh,
We'll do
man.
that next time. We'll do one where we
Yeah.
choose each other's meals. I think that'll be.
That could be.
that'll
good.
be
Yeah,
good.
we could do something fun like
Definitely.
that. Yeah. I'll be back up in Dublin then as well in the next couple of
Perfect.
weeks anyway. So
Smashing.
Much
we'll
better
be back up
options.
on Deliveroo and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Perfect.
We all got to go. But I just want to say thanks so much, guys, for letting me
Nah,
hop
man,
onto
thank
your
you so
podcast.
much for coming on.
Thank
It was
you.
great. It was great chatting, and yeah, no, it was cool. It was cool buzz.
Yeah, no, thanks
Decent.
again. We'll put all your links down below, and that's if you want to check out him, they're all down there. Go follow his podcast, his YouTube, Instagram, and yeah, it's been a pleasure. Thanks again. Thanks Matt. Thanks George, and yeah, thanks Takeaway Man Kevin.
No worries, guys. Thank you.
Catch you later, boys.
Boy.